Before wasting your time, we are going to share top 5 best reader detector. Number 5 on the list is Radenso Pro M. The Pro M is significantly quieter than the others, but we trust it to pick up police radar. In our false filtering test, the Radenso rang out just twice compared with 6 and 7 times for the Escort and Valentine, respectively. All 3 detectors can be programmed to ignore whole radar bands, but only the Radenso allows the user to adjust the strength of filtering for each type. That lets you reduce sensitivity to, say, the rarely used X band without muting it entirely. The Radenso has strong frontal range, and it matched the Escort in the 90-degree corner test. But its rear coverage is a relative weak point. The Pro M's tiny size is a boon for driver visibility. Its lowest in test price is another selling point, but the Radenso does feel cheaper than the others. You adjust its angle on the windshield by bending the metal bracket it mounts to, and there's no app to assist with adjusting settings. Pick the Pro M if you want a reliable detector that minimizes the number of false alerts. Excellent out-of-the-box filtering, GPS lockout, great price. Little rearward protection, questionable mount durability, confusing menus and controls. A quiet radar detector with good threat detection. Number 4 on the list is Cobra Rad 480i. If you're new to the world of radar detectors and don't want to invest a lot of money or time in learning new terms and technology, we think Cobra's Rad 480i may be the place to start. Priced in the sub-$200 range, this unit has the most basic features but skips other niceties like GPS, RDD immunity or directional arrows. However, it does have one feature which puts it over the top: Bluetooth app integration. At the risk of oversimplification, the 480i can be thought of as Waze Plus. Keep reading to find out how. Once you start running your new Cobra radar detector, you're immediately granted access to the free Radar app, available on iOS and Android. The software is essentially the same as the separate Escort Live app accessible by owners of pricier, more precision hardware, as both brands are manufactured by Cedar Electronics. You can even sign into both apps with the same account credentials, as we did in our testing. Since 2018, these 2 apps have shared their alert databases. This means, as a Cobra user, you're getting the benefit of data in the cloud from drivers with more powerful Escort detectors. The Radar app itself is colorful and intuitive to use. While the Rad 480i may not have built-in GPS or the best detection range, the app fills in a lot of holes with warnings of upcoming speed traps, speed cameras and more without needing to understand more technical terminology. Cobra users can also report their own police radar sightings by holding down the physical mark button on the unit for 2 seconds. Number 3 on the list is Uniden DFR7.
To me, Uniden is more
And now
than
for something
CB.
completely familiar. At the risk of being repetitive, the best budget radar detector available today is yet another offering from the folks at Uniden. The DFR7 initially went on sale in 2016, and despite repeated price drops, it continues to receive firmware updates from Uniden and remains a strong performer, even when pitted against some of the best detectors on the market. In addition to the standard X, K and car radar bands, the DFR7 detects laser. GPS is built into this unit and provides the benefits of low-speed muting to reduce false alerts as well as manual marking of up to 100 lockouts and speed camera alerts. Information is displayed on a monochrome OLED display and voice alerts are available as well. By all accounts, false alert filtering in the Uniden DFR7 is excellent and will keep the detector from alarming every time a blind spot monitoring system is in the vicinity. Radar detection range is impressive as well and performs especially well on the 34.7 GHz frequency of the Ka band, according to Vortex Radar. Number 2 on the list is Uniden R3. If you have less to spend but still want best-in-class performance, the Uniden R3 is CNET's detector of choice. Sharing many of the same internals as the runner-up pick, the R3 was Uniden's top performer before the R7 showed up, and it remains an impressive package. The biggest differences from this unit's big brother are a lack of directional guidance and a less robust, if still impressive, detection range. As to the latter, the R3 still beats some competitors sold for nearly twice the price, including big hitters from Radenso and Escort. The absence of directional arrows is not surprising in this price class, and certainly not a deal-breaker. The Uniden R3 detects X, K, Ka, multiradar and laser and offers customizable tones for each band, voice notifications and a color OLED screen. GPS is also built into this unit and enables speed camera alerts, low-speed muting as well as the capability to set up to 500 manual lockouts by double-pressing the mute button. Speaking of controls, this detector is on a short list of window-mounted devices that assign front-facing real estate to frequently used buttons instead of banishing them to the fumble zone at the top of the unit, out of sight. That's a personal pet peeve, but still, kudos to Uniden for positioning the mute and mark buttons where they can be easily accessed. Number 1 on the list is Uniden R7. The Uniden R7 may just make you do a double take. Its black, angular design answers the question of what the Valentine one would look like if it had sprung for an OLED screen. In truth, it's a dead heat between these two detectors, and depending on your needs, the R7 may just be the one to get. This laser detector comes with built-in GPS, voice alert, red light cameras and speed camera alerts. In terms of range, the V1G2 and the R7 are neck and neck. In independent tests performed by Vortex Radar, the alert distance varied by only 200 to 300 feet between the two detectors, with Uniden's offering occasionally winning out, depending on the band and configuration. Both outclass the majority of contenders by a wide margin. Like our favorite pick on this list, the R7 offers directional arrows to indicate where radar hits are coming from. In this case, the arrows are rendered on a small color display, which is slightly hooded from direct sunlight. In addition to the typical radar bands, X, K and Ka, the Uniden R7 can detect the newer multiradar variant as well as laser. Voice alerts are also on offer here, as are configurable alert tones for the different bands. Set alerts to notify you to speed zones, speed traps, construction zones and school zones. As with other high-end detectors, the R7 claims undetectability from certain radar detectors, RDDs, specifically the Spectre I and IV.BUT. The killer app here may be built-in GPS, a feature missing from the otherwise full-featured V1G2. The addition of location awareness allows you to manually or automatically store up to 2,000 lockouts, where false alerts repeatedly ping your detector in regular driving. GPS also enables the R7 to alert you to red light camera locations stored in Uniden's database, updatable via USB.